Welcome to Sid and Malcolm, on malcolmpresents.com, a new internet platform that has several shows on there. That's my new introduction. Again, it's malcolmpresents.com, and you can see all the back shows of Sid and Malcolm, plus my other shows. So welcome aboard, and welcome, Sid. How are you today?
I am fine today. Today was a little chilly here. Today is Tuesday, and we had our veteran farmers market today. And we had a big turnout. Even though it was about 35 degrees, we had quite a number of veterans and their families come to take our farmers market items.
Yeah. Well, according to the weather report, 35 degrees is balmy weather there. It was warm.
Well, it was in the teens yesterday, but it's still cold to be outdoors. I'm actually wearing a pair of Smith work pants that are flannel lined, and I have my combat boots on and a really nice Nike winter coat. So I was able to stay outside for 3 hours and really not feel.
Well, my trick is when I lived back east, which is back in the actually late 70s, long winter underwear. Thermal underwear was my secret.
Yep. I have a pair of red Farmer Johns. And I don't wear them often, but these flannels really have done the trick.
Yeah, well, yeah. If you're going to be outside for a long time, that's when I wear my thermals, and I would wear the stocking cap or the watch cap,
right,
over my ears.
I don't need them. My ears are good, but I do have my head always covered when I'm out.
I remember the days. I didn't have a car as a teenager, and I used to go out on dates. I was living in Brooklyn, and to take one bus is fine, but when you had to transfer buses, sometimes you had to wait on the corner for the other bus. And I used to wear my hat with ear laps.
Yeah.
And an expression in Brooklyn, you look like a schmuck with ear laps.
Yeah.
My expression, yes, but I'm a warm schmuck with ear laps.
And they still use that expression, by the way.
Oh, do they?
They do. We have some interesting things going on. One of which is that we are producing a document to be given to all veterans, especially senior veterans, that discusses nutrition. One of the things that we have found over the couple of years that we run the market is that there is need to have nutrition available suggestions. And we have a couple of documents that we are floating now with a number of veterans, a number of nutritionists. And I have one school, the USDA school, which talks about what a plate should look at, the 4 things on a plate. And I have another school, which is vegan, and their plate looks a lot different than the USDA plate. On the vegan plate, there is no dairy. All of the proteins come from plants. The grains are whole grains. And the USDA has meat and vegetables and fruit. And we are going to be giving veterans actually a choice, because we're going to show both of these different menus. Quite a number of our veterans are taken care of by children and caregivers. And we have found through surveys that quite a number of the older members of their household really don't want to change to a vegan diet, where some of the younger members that are taking care of veterans are already doing a vegan diet, and they would have the veterans comply with that.
Well, I'm reading this book at Keep Sharp by Sanjay Gupta, and he's talking about diet and he says, as we get older, what most seniors don't do is drink enough water.
Right.
And he said that causes a lot of them fainting, a lot of them becoming dehydrated, a lot of them falling and injuring themselves. And the trick with water is you don't drink water when you're thirsty. You're supposed to drink it regularly because as you get older, you don't get thirsty as much. I never knew that.
Right.
But since I've been into running, I always was hydrated.
I try to drink up to 64 ounces a day of different liquids, not necessarily waters. I love Sunny D. That's one of my favorite drinks, and it has a high amount of vitamin C. I love Snapples, Diet Snapples. I love diet soda. And all
That's
that
not supposed to be that
together,
healthy. I mean, I know the liquids, but the
yeah,
chemicals.
but I haven't had a problem with it, and I have not been dehydrated. I am outdoors a lot, and you tend to get dehydrated if you don't drink when you're outside.
Yeah.
I keep in my car at least 2 big cups of decaffeinated cold coffee. And when I'm thirsty, I'll just drink it down. At night, I keep a bottle of Poland Spring water at my bedside, and I'll always take a couple of swigs at night when I wake up. Sadly, I have to go to the restroom more often than I did when I was younger. And I like to make sure that I have something to have me sated.
Well, I think not to be maudlin about it, but I think as we get older, we just want to touch our penis more often.
That could be.
And then that's an excuse.
Well, I have to tell you what I've come up with. I keep a bedpan, large gallon jug at my bedside, and that is what I pee into. So I don't have to walk 2 rooms around the bed, trip over my dog, hit the dresser. So when I get up, pee into the bucket, go to sleep, and not have to worry about falling down.
Yeah. Well, you remind me of when I was a kid in Brooklyn. And, when I don't know how old I was, probably like, in the single digits. My mother used to have a bucket under my bed. We used to call it a pish tipple. And because she said, I don't want you to walk, out at night because you might step on something or it's cold.
Right. Well,
So
I practice that. I don't want to bang into things when I'm half asleep.
Right.
Especially, I hate to stub my toes.
Yeah.
Which you kick into the bed, you kick into a dresser. So I started this 3 years ago. And I'm the one that handles it.
Yeah.
Wash it out, rinse it, let it dry, put a little fragrance into it. And that's my thing, my Costa Nostra.
Yeah.
I don't recommend it to anyone, but whoever hears about it says, boy, that's a great idea.
There's there was a Michael Douglas miniseries, the Kaminsky Method.
I'm not familiar, but go ahead.
I think on HBO, one of the stations, it's not there anymore with him and I'm forgetting his co-star who has since passed away, I believe. But anyway, he was having prostate problems.
Right.
So when he goes to the bathroom and he's looking down, he's talking to his penis.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he would say, come on, I don't have enough time to wait.
That's very funny.
Do what you got to do.
Right.
And I think any male over 60 can relate to that.
Yeah. You just got to do what you got to do. Plus you've heard, you have to get out the last drops.
Yeah. Well, that's,
you're going to have stained pants and stained gatkes.
Yeah.
That's another issue that's changed over the last 10 years that I absolutely wait. You know what they used to say with chock full of nuts coffee? Good to the last drop.
Well, yeah. Well, they say more than 3 shakes and you're playing with yourself.
Well, I have no problem with that either.
But it's funny as we, they talk. There's always conversation. What guys talk about, when they're younger, they talk about sports. They talk about women. They talk about movies. When they get older, they talk about how often do you wake up to go to the bathroom? Are you regular? How's your bowel movement? It's funny.
That we don't talk much about, but I hope everybody does well that's listening. And if you want to get a large bucket, go to any lab and tell them that you have to do a 24-hour urine. And they'll give you the bucket and just don't go back.
Yeah, and again, the other thing is irregularity, which is also, as I found out, very important. As they get older, and they have, if you look at all the television ads, they have all the things to help you.
I have been on Miralax for 5 years. Never have a problem.
Never-
And again, dehydration does cause constipation.
Yeah, well, yeah,
You really have to keep hydrated for a lot of reasons. But we started about nutrition for veterans. So this is, I guess, falls into that Bailey.
Well, this is a type, people talk about nutrition and they talk about what's good for you and the foods and etc. But they don't talk about bodily functions. It's sort of like embarrassing.
Yeah, which to us at this point, it's not embarrassing. And it's funny, as women get older, they talk about it also. It's, it's not dinner conversation, but if the topic comes up, people share, and they didn't share when they were 40, but they don't mind sharing when they're 70.
Well, this is a question for me now, which I just thought, with the weather that you have now, what do people do that have outhouses? In the old days, you had to go outside and sub freezing weather.
That is where there used to be under the bed a chamber pot. The chamber pot was specifically for not having to go outdoors in the winter.
Yeah. Anyway, do you deal a lot with the homeless veterans?
I don't deal with them, but I know agencies that do. And what we do in Nassau County, there's a veteran administration organization, and they have twice a year what's called a veteran stand down, that you could go to. In this case, it was the Armory, but now we can't use the last 2 years. But before the last 2 years, in the Armory, twice a year, veterans could go for medical services. They could speak to counselors. They are given clothing. They are given food. They are given dental examinations, eye examinations, all that through the Veteran Administration. I have been involved for the last 7 or 8 years, giving clothing, high-end and sometimes sports clothing that I get from the teams to.
You're freezing.
Tomorrow, the VA, the Veteran Administration is coming to my house tomorrow. One of my friends on our board of directors was just a great human being, has donated 700 pair of pants that he had gotten for different stores.
Wow. Your reception is kind of iffy here. You're freezing. I don't know if you can receive my
The New York Football Giants. Are you okay?
Yeah, no, you were freezing. You still are. Do you see it in your
Football Giants about 8 years ago? So the New York Football Giants 8 years ago gave me that the team had bought, and they changed vendors from Reebok to Nike. Nike got the NFL contract. They gave Rock and Wrap It Up all of those items because they know we were not going to sell them on eBay. They all have value. Players would wear in practice, in training, on the field. And we are now at the end of those 5,000 garments. I give about 500 to the Veteran Administration, and they give them out. So these are some of the items that come my way that we love to share.
Yeah, do you deal? I know you're a commander of one of the American Legion posts. Do you share it with them, the Legion also?
I share it well. VFW posts are able to go to the stand down. So there are 54 posts in Nassau County, and my good friend General Pat Alicia is the commander of all those American Legion posts. Another friend of mine, Luke Mangianero, is the commander. They all are able to go to the veteran stand down. And it's just a beautiful thing. They're given canned foods, they're given blankets if they.
Oh, yeah, but by the way, I don't know if you can hear me, but you're going in and out of being frozen. So hopefully if.
So right now,
Yeah.
So right now, and you don't have to get out of your car. That's the beautiful thing about this. With COVID, you just drive up and you tell them what size you are, and maybe 100 different items. And people are not pigs. They don't go around twice in the line. They'll take what the
But
county VA.
but
And I'm just very proud to be part of that.
yeah, but it must be horrible now. Like in places like New York with the weather.
One of the real benefits that we see on our veteran farmers market is that they love to come and hang out. They'll come, but I give them a space that they could stay for an hour. And they love the camaraderie. They love being, really the kind of space that they love. We have one guy, this guy, Dominic Creasy, he brings 4 cups of Dunkin' coffee. I supply cognac.
Cognac.
Today, I took a bottle. The cups, we put in a nice shot of Hennessy, and we had coffee and Hennessy to sit and bullshit outdoors.
I think I'm going to your meetings or your gatherings. That's my type
A lot of people love coming to our meeting.
Yeah.
But we've had, I light a cigar. I'm a cigar smoker. I have my Irish coffee, my cigar, and I just say hello to everybody. So does
Yeah.
Pat, by the way. Pat,
How did your new thing go with
and this is our way of being, giving some mental unstress. No stress here.
well, part of that getting back to keep sharp,
Chairs for them to sit.
part of the things for which actually is they're talking about dementia and Alzheimer is also to feel belonging, not being alone, because as you're
going in and out of the.
Yeah, you're freezing.
Yeah, I think it's both of us.
So well, I'm not freezing my end. I keep on. We'll try to do the show, and I apologize to the audience in advance if you can't see the whole thing. I think we have enough good footage, hopefully that.
I think we covered a lot today.
But yeah, actually, we did about 20 minutes already. Well, let's continue, and we'll see for the half hour and see what happens. Have you started your program with the hospitals yet?
Not till February. We have more meetings to do. They're very involved right now, sadly, with the COVID explosion of the Omicron. Every well, people go to hospitals if they think they have COVID. They don't want to die. And the hospital, that's top priority. So I think this is going to get until
when you take your COVID test, can they tell the difference between if it's the COVID-19 or the original one, or whether it's the Delta, or whether it's
they can't. When it's Delta, right? No, they can't tell the difference. I am not. I have my booster. I have my vaccines. If I don't feel well, I'll stay home. That's what I do.
Yeah, I'm not
I
taking,
see no need at this point to take a COVID test. There's no reason for it.
yeah, well, I agree with you. I took a COVID test because a few weeks ago, because my son's had COVID. I took the home test, but
Yeah,
now,
I took the home test. Last week was my mother-in-law's 95th birthday.
mazel tov.
For her to come over here, I felt I should take a test, which I did. The end of this week is my mother's 95th. Take a COVID test. She already has the booster. She has the vaccines, and I want to see her for her birthday.
Yeah. Yes, as my wife says, there's only so much you can disrupt your life.
I agree, and we've done everything right. And I am outdoors a lot. I probably see more people than anyone. I wear a mask. I put antiseptic on my hands, and that's what I do. And if I catch something and don't know that I have it, that's okay also.
Well, the point is not about you. It's are you contagious to other folks?
Well, then let everybody else get vaccinated and get boosters.
Right, so they should.
Yeah.
That's what I believe. I don't believe all this bull about, oh, they're trying to control us, the federal government. Yes, it's an emergency.
I'm not a big fan of any mandate. I'm just not.
Well, I am, because there's a lot of people who ain't going to do it. And you as a scientist, as long as it's out there, it's going to mutate.
At this point, so it's going to always mutate. There's always a different flu out there every year. I'll
Right.
take
But I don't know if it's
for the
as
next
deadly
flu
as COVID.
comes out. If they come down with it, it's on their head.
Well, as I say, I was talking to someone.
They do what they want to do. I am libertarian when it comes to this. If you don't want to take the shot, don't take it.
Yeah, but don't work in a place where you're exposed to other people all the time.
That is true. But if you're gonna take the shot, take the shot. If you don't want to take the shot for your own reason, there are too many other things that they don't do. How many people drive stoned? How many people drive drunk and take a
Right.
chance?
But that's beyond. Well, they have laws like that, but it's beyond our knowledge.
Yeah, everybody. That hasn't stopped them.
Yeah,
It hasn't stopped them.
but there's more control over this than there is whether you driving drunk. Unless every car is
I think that there's more control. You could control whether you want to drive drunk or not, or whether you want to drive stoned. You control that.
oh, you control it. Well, yeah, there are more people killed in car accidents. I always worry about that with my kids. Actually, with anybody. I think the older I get, the more I worry about things. I even worry about meteors hitting the planet. Can't do anything about it.
Well, there's a good reason for that. 65 million years ago, all life ended on Earth.
Right.
After a meteor hit.
Well, people say,
probably a decade of clouds and nothing grew on the planet.
Well, I was talking.
So that could always happen.
We were talking, I don't think on another show, and I'm speaking to, scientists, and we're talking about the new telescope that was just shot into space, that we could see almost our past. But what I saw all these stars out there. I mean, these millions and millions of stars, and each of the stars had their own planets. So we're basically, Earth is sort of like a grain of sand on the beach. We're the only ones that think we're important. But as far as the universe is concerned, we're nothing.
Absolutely.
So you say one good meteor can ruin, destroy the Earth entirely.
NASA, for the first time, NASA just hired religious leaders to work for them.
For what purpose?
that there is life that they found. And that's why NASA hired these religious people to help explain it to the rest of the world.
Well,
All right, Malcolm, I think we have to go.
yeah, you're having trouble also?
Yeah. And I think we did it.
Excuse me, I'm coughing.
You know what?
You're out
Next
now.
week, we'll try to do it on another computer that I have
Oh, okay.
in my wife's office. And
I'm just wondering whether this is also due to the storms. It might be.
it could be.
Weather
It could be. It could be.
But anyway, you're okay. We'll end this.
Well, otherwise, your family is well.
Family is well. Everything is fine. And your family also? Things are going
Have a
well?
good week. I'll speak to you next week.
Okay, keep warm and keep dry.
You too. Thank you, buddy. Bye.